Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Aditya, and in this video we'll be starting to program in Dart language, and we'll be covering the basic stuff like data types and variables in this video. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. So guys, right now I have opened Visual Studio Code and I'm on a file called main.dart. So as you can see over here, I have in the Dart folder main.dart, and in here we have a main function. So a main function is where your code starts to execute from. So if you write it outside, it won't execute. If you write it inside, only inside of these curly braces you can see, from there only it will start executing. So first we'll cover about data types and variables. So first we'll learn about data types. So in Dart language we have int, so I'll just write heading so that it would be easy for you, data types. So here I have written data types, and now the first data type is int data type, and the second we are going to learn is double, and the third is string, and the fourth one is bool or bool, and the last one is dynamic. So here int, so int is nothing but it is used to store an integer value. So that integer value can either be positive value or a negative value. So now we have here int, and here we have double, the next one. So the double is nothing but it is used to store decimal values or fractional values. So you can store 0.001 or 0.1010001. So like that you can store all the fractional, decimal or floating point values. So if you're from C++, we use the float, so the float keyword. And here the third one is nothing but string. So string is just like using it is used to store character, sequence of characters, just like your name and name, address. So one thing is that they cannot perform calculations, whereas int and double can perform calculations and string cannot perform calculations. So that is one of the thing to remember. And the next one is bool. So bool is actually used to store two kind of values, only two kind of values, true or false. So it can store true or false, either of them. It depends on a condition. So this bool data type is going to be extensively used when we come to conditional statements. So the last one is dynamic. So what is this dynamic type? I think you can kind of predict what it's going to be. So dynamic is a data type which can store any kind of value. It can store int data type, double data type, string data type, bool data type, and anything. So list and maps, which are kind of data structures, but we'll not be covering them right now. So a dynamic can store any kind of data. So what is the use of having all these data types when you just have a data type or a dynamic data type which can store any kind of value? So actually there's a concept of static and dynamic typing. So when we use only these when we want to use an integer, we only use the int keyword to represent an integer. That time it is called as static. And whereas dynamic, the value is being able to change. So that time it is called as dynamic programming. So where the data type can be changed. So guys, here we have int, double, string, bool and dynamic. We have covered them. It might be a little bit confusing for you to understand right now. So let's try to code it and understand. And now let us even, while coding, we'll even understand about the variables as well. So to make an integer data type, I'll just use the keyword int. And here I'll just write my age equals some. So I'll just declare a variable called my age. So what is a variable over here? So variable is my age. So what exactly is the definition of a variable? So variable is nothing but a box or a storage container in memory, and that storage container or box is used or referenced using this name. So here we have given the name as my age, so it will be referenced as my age. So the container which name is my age. Okay, next, the my age container doesn't have any content or value inside it. Here we can give a value. So one thing to remember is that we cannot give any floating point numbers like this, because we have already declared that it's going to only have an integer data type. So if we keep like this, we are going to have no errors. So that's great. We have learned about declaration, declaration, and here we have learned about initialization. Okay, now let's move ahead and we'll just print this out. So I'll just write print, and I can just pass the variable inside it, so and end it with a semicolon. I think you're noticing that I'm always ending every statement with a semicolon. Okay, now let's run this program. To run this program, I'll be using the terminal. Don't use this run button. So here I'll just open a new terminal, and here you will then get a shortcut key which will be helpful for you, so to open it quickly. So here, to run any Dart program, first you write the Dart name, so Dart, and then I write the file name, so it is main.dart, so main.dart. Press enter, and now as you can see we have got 67843. So guys, that was about integer data type. Now I can even change it to double also, double. So double data type, and still as you can see we don't get any error. Now let's run this program again and check out. So here you can see double, while if we added double over here, we can see that it has already added a decimal value like 0.0. So you can even give integer values, but it will add more precision. So in future also, if you want to add more precision, you can just use double. So let me just clear this, and I'll just even close this thing. Okay, so this was about integers and double. Now let us go ahead and learn about strings. So strings are data types which you can store to use a sequence of characters. So what do I mean by sequence of characters? So I can just write string my name equals, so I'll directly declare and initialize at the same time like this. So Aditya. So I'll write like this, and we are here declaring it, and here we are also initializing it in the same line. Now as you can see, I have enclosed some using double quotes. You can even use single quotes also, so there's no problem. You can use double or single quotes in Dart. Okay, that was about how we declare and initialize. Now let's come to the point of what makes it different from integers and double. So you cannot actually perform calculations like subtraction, division, but you can even perform addition, which is called as concatenation, but we'll be not covering it right now. So I just can't multiply with Aditya like that, Aditya into some other name, Aditya into Burgula, like that it doesn't work. If I do Aditya plus Burgula, it will do some kind of output, which I'll be showing you in the next video. So see that next video also. So what happens, concatenation, or if you're very eager, you can check out on the internet what concatenation is. So here we can write any kind of numbers are also possible, and you can even store special symbols also. So there's nothing much in this string data type. It's just used to store just text. So that was about string. Now let's come to bool data type. So bool, and I'll just write is school is a student, so I'll just write a student, student. I'm a student, so I'll just write true. So a bool data type is going to have only two values, that is either true or either false. So I think you must have understood, and I can even just replace it with false. So this data type is actually used in conditional statements, extensively used in conditional statements. Okay guys, so here we have covered about these first four, I think, so int, double and string. That's great. Now let's learn about the last one, which is dynamic, and here also we can see dynamic. Now if I write dynamic equals, so I should write dynamic my name equals Aditya and end it, and let's again print this, print, and I'll write my name. And now let's open the terminal. Now I'll just open a new terminal. So I'll just write over here dart main.dart. So, and now I press run, and it's going to give me the output as Aditya. Now let us change the data type. So I think I have told you that dynamic data type can store any kind of data type. So I'll just type number, and now we don't get any errors. So if I was to keep it as a string, we'll get some error. So if I keep like this, as you can see over here, it has given like the value of int cannot be assigned to a variable of type string. So what does this dynamic do actually? So dynamic. So dynamic is nothing but it is used to store any kind of data, and you can even change it in the future without any warning. Suppose there's even another keyword called as var. You can use var. So this is actually somewhat a type safe. Now var doesn't actually specify what kind of data type you're using, but once you declare it as a number, over here we are using a number, so it is an integer data type. So I can just write, if I in the next line, if I write my name equals a string data type, so I'll just write Aditya and end it with a semicolon. Still you are getting that string can't be assigned to a variable of type int. So once you initialize it for the first time, that time it's going to set its data type of my name as integer, and if you again reinitialize with another data type rather than the data type which you used for while initializing for the first time, then you're gonna get an error thrown up like the string can't be used as an integer, it is already declared in that at the time of initialization. So that was about this, guys, dynamic and static typing or data types and variables. So I think it might be a little bit hard to understand for you guys right now, so just watch this video again if you're not getting it, and in the next video we'll be looking some more about these data types and variables. So thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so that you never miss any updates.